not long into the new year and the bankers have already got Melbourne putting on a big production full of actors all playing out scenes and roles. And look, the purpose of this one is to demonise conservatives, because those pesky conservatives, they want low debt, jobs and freedom of speech.
Far right-wing rally organised by convicted criminals in Melbourne.
Firstly, slap a label on their heads that they're far right, and then throw in they're led by convicted criminals. That's a bit of good demonisation.
It was all organised by far-right groups and convicted criminals Neil Erickson and Blair Cottrell.
Two seasoned actors who've given past performances. I did a video on one of Blair's just recently where he goes up to some street performer and carries on like a total moron. And Neil, I think he did that Sam Dastiari scene, that little production there, where, you know, he acted like a total racist.
Riled up by self-professed patriots.
If we have to, we will march on that city and we will take it over.
Oh, bravo, Blair. Great performance, great script reading. You're going to lead a march to take over the city. All the people that he's riling up, they're not actors. What they are, they've been manipulated in the first instance by the government either cultivating or just at least allowing these Sudanese gangs to proliferate. And they do actually cause some crimes, but they purposely allow them to do it, to create the problem. Remember, problem, reaction, solution. And the solution to them is Blair's stirring speech about taking over the city. What they haven't contemplated is that he's an actor, has been put there in order to make their cause look radical and therefore get shut down.
They're not here today. They're cowards. They're jackals. They only come out at night attacking families.
Here's Neil reading his script as a far-right patriot activist, calling human beings jackals, unacceptable, then appeals to the emotion of the crowd by stating that they attack families, which they probably do, but only because they've been allowed to by the government. Another actor they've rolled out, let's watch his part.
Some guy went past in his car, yelling out pseudos are welcome, so I smashed up his speakers.
This guy actually did smash up some speakers, but of course the guy with the speakers is also part of the act. And normally, we know he's an actor because normally anyone that would vandalise and commit a crime, they would run from the scene. They don't want to suffer the consequences. Whereas he knows there is no consequences because he's an actor. And he's probably been split 500 or $1,000, which is probably another reason he's looking so smug. What demonising acting show would be complete without a good old Nazi salute and Adolf Hitler moustache imitation?
Hanging out with neo-Nazis, while Labor MP Tim Watts described his views as racist.
Now this actor, he's actually wearing the sunnies. He doesn't want to be identified. And he's doing his big march past, making sure all the cameras are on him. Now, there's no way doing that Nazi salute could help any cause at any time. It could only ever damage the cause. It's not going to rally ordinary Australians. What it also does is it drags in a certain religious group to then also criticise these conservatives, part of the Actors Guild of Victoria that were out performing today. The commanders know this isn't an actual demonstration or protest. They know that it's been fully scripted, fully staged, and they know that there are actors controlling the protesters, you know, Blair and Neil and a few of the other ones. They know not to arrest the kid that vandalised the speakers. Now, they do attempt to make out like it was a real protest because they said they arrested 3 people. They don't give their names, they don't say whether they were charged, and you won't hear any more about them. That part of the script that the cop read out was just to make out like that it was a real event.
Officers in riot gear brandishing shields and batons.
Just one! It all takes it. One!
The actor on the right knows that the actor on the left in the police uniform is an actor because he doesn't have the yellow vest on. So he knows, okay, here's someone that I can then run through my script with. So he doesn't mix it up with another cop. Because if he did it to an actual cop, who knows, a cop might actually, you know, arrest him for disturbing the peace. But he's careful to only address another actor. Now, this little actress, she's worked with Blair before. She starred alongside Blair in an event that I covered in one of my last videos.
I would rather have a situation in which there is public opposition to these people than them just getting free rein on St Kilda Beach to go and attack whoever they want.
So her acting role in this is a campaigner against racism and fascism, which then if you reverse it means that the Conservatives are fascist and racist. And she also goes on to say that she wants to prevent Conservatives from attacking other people. Fraser Anning's role in this is one of 2 possibilities. It could be that big open checkbook that Turnbull came back from New York with, that Goldman Sachs gave him, that he bought up Karen Phelps and now Bill Shorten. He may have brought up this senator as well, and he's going to crash his career by being here, but the rewards that Goldman Sachs are going to give him would obviously have to be pretty good. So that's one possibility. Or it could be that he was brought down here under false pretenses and he was naive enough to not realise what it was all about. Like he might not have seen Blair and Neil carrying on, might not have seen the Nazi salute.
I believe that the revolution will eventually start and people have had enough of these people and they've got to be sent back to where they came from.
What I've heard him say before is that he wants to send back the ones that have committed crimes, but they've edited it so that it looks like he wants to send all of them back. Now, because they've included the suggestion of sending back, well, at least the criminals, in the same story as all these actors acting as unhinged maniacs with unacceptably radical views, then that then discredits the notion of sending them back, which the bankers don't want to do that, because the whole idea of sending them back is to lower the financial burden, because you've got the welfare bill and then you've also got the criminal justice bill, and anything to drive up debt and chaos in the country the bankers want. So Fraser was either wittingly or unwittingly included into this story to get that little part across. Another absolute bullshit production from the heart of sellout Australia, which is Melbourne. All the actors are out there, all performing their parts, and sort of we saw what they did. Although I will say, it looks like Sydney stepped up. I haven't had a look at it yet, but there was some car ramming thing, and the driver died somehow. But they didn't attach any laws to it. They went over briefly. There wasn't wall-to-wall coverage of it. So I'll try and get a look at that. So look, maybe Sydney could be stepping back up again. I know they stood back when Alisar Farr got killed. I know the cops sort of don't want any part of this sort of bullshit, which is why it's now in Melbourne. But maybe there's elements there that have decided, it's becoming too obvious. it's working against them. In fact, in one of my last videos, I highlighted that Dutton was trying to make excuses for why it's all in Melbourne and saying that, there's a bigger population down there. Well, there's actually a bigger Muslim population in Sydney. So, yeah, Sydney might be, stepping back up. They might have said, listen, we've got to get someone on board to start doing this bullshit in Sydney again. We should be expecting, and this is just like a very safe, controlled environment, this one, and it's more about preparing to nullify the debate and the speech of those that are going to try and oppose the banks. But I think we might see some, another good old-fashioned big stage production terror attack. I reckon it's going to be in Melbourne again, although, Sydney might be ready to go again. All right, that's it.